Well, hi there! Reptiles are some of the most reasonable and rewarding pets that you can keep. But most of them require some form of live feeders. If not actually alive, something like whole frozen prey, like frozen rodents. And this stuff can be a deal breaker for many people. But the reality is that some reptiles do just fine with no live or whole prey items at all. Some do fine on things that you can get at the grocery store. And these are, in my opinion, the 5 best pet reptiles that can live without live feeders or other recognizable whole prey. First on our list are one of the most obvious choices, at least in my opinion, tortoises. Tortoises have a lot of pros. First, they eat almost entirely plants. There are some, like this yellowfoot tortoise, that need a bit of animal protein in their diet, but even that can be purchased at the grocery store. For the most part, we're talking about grass, fruits, and vegetables. Big tortoises eat a lot of this stuff, but it's widely available, and I haven't met many people opposed to feeding collard greens to animals. They're also very hardy and live a very long time. And virtually nobody is afraid of tortoises, though I did meet one recently. A rare gem, if you will. But they do have their cons. One being that they live a very long time. Do your grandkids want a tortoise? They also can eat a lot, especially large tortoises. And by the way, if you want a large tortoise, please contact the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary. They have literally hundreds of sulcata tortoises and other large tortoises that need to be adopted. Now, additionally, tortoises require a lot of space for their size. And they're fun, but they're not buckets of fun. Next on our list is the lizard equivalent of a tortoise, the Uromastyx. This is a very unusual, not too big or too small, interesting lizard that eats exclusively plants. These guys have many of the same great qualities as their agamid cousin, the bearded dragon, but again, without the insects. They're extremely personable and adorable, and many of them are very handleable. They're uninclined to bite, they don't voluntarily drop their tails, but like everything, they do have some cons. They can sometimes be shy, though many of them are not. Some of them are. They also need a lot of heat, one of the higher basking temperatures that you're gonna see for really any sort of lizard. And they're considerably more difficult to find, especially captive bred, than their insect-eating cousins, the bearded dragons. That said, if insects are a deal breaker, then this is the obvious choice. Next on our list are New Caledonian geckos, like this little baby crested gecko, gargoyle geckos, chewies, leechies, and seras. Now, I will tell you that these guys generally do love the occasional insect. Some species need them in their diets more than others, but their primary diet should be crested gecko diet. And companies like Pangea and Repashy make some great foods, and most of them already include insect protein. So these do eat insects, but in many cases you can get away with feeding them no more insects than those that are in powdered form in their food. They also do well at room temperature, though I would recommend low intensity UVB. They don't generally need additional heat. And they're very easy to breed, like this one. This is actually a 3rd generation gecko that was bred here. And this means that they're very easy to find captive bred. For geckos, they're very handleable and they are shockingly soft. But they do have some cons. High temperatures can be dangerous for them, so make sure your home doesn't get too hot. Insects can be a part of their diet, so if you want a pet that doesn't need insects regularly, but you're kind of warming yourself up to the idea, this might be a really great choice. These are the first pets on this list that can voluntarily drop their tails. And these guys actually do it fairly often. And I've been bitten by more crested geckos than snakes, and they sometimes try to mate with your hand afterward. So maybe it's a compliment. Next on our list is one of the best pet lizards that you can possibly get, and that is with or without live feeders. And this is the blue-tongued skink. This lizard is big without being unreasonable at all. It's just a really fun lizard. They need a basking spot in UVB, but not nearly the temperatures required by the Uromastyx. And they're personable, reasonable to keep, and super interesting. They're generally as easy to handle as a potato with claws. They actually seem to seek out attention from humans. But, I mean, despite being very nearly perfect, they do have some cons. While they are available and fairly common, they're live bearers, and they produce relatively small clutches. They're also somewhat aggressive towards potential mates, and so these are never going to be inexpensive lizards, though they aren't totally unreasonable either. They do need some animal protein in their diet, but this can come in the form of meats like ground turkey and even high-quality, low-fat dog food. So, you know, you're going to need some meat. This isn't a vegetarian lizard, but it is one that you can easily get away without ever feeding it insects or, you know, any whole prey items that are clearly recognizable as what they are. I'd like to take a moment just to say thank you to our patrons at Patreon. You guys have done so much to help this channel grow. You might remember our very first top 5 list, the top 5 best pet reptiles for beginners. Look at how far we've come, and a lot of that has been thanks to the support of our patrons at Patreon. Ta-da!
Did it get you?
Nope, wait for poop and then sperm.
Huh?
Poop and sperm.
Sperm too?
Sometimes he likes to show off all the fluids he can make.
Wow. Gross.
Yes. Explosive. That's only your 8. Hooray!
That was impressive.
Everybody wins. And I was worried we wouldn't have any bloopers.
Oh my goodness. Helicopter. Wow. Got a little bit wet.
Oh my goodness.
Ta-da! And last, but certainly not least, is one of the most amazing pet reptiles of them all. And this is the Argentine Tegu. Tegus, like blue tongues, are omnivores. This means that they do eat meat. And they will gladly eat insects, rodents, and basically anything else. They're like raccoons in many parts of their range. And this means that you have a lot of options when it comes to what to feed them. They will eat basically any sort of meat that they sell at the grocery store, as well as many fruits and vegetables. While they need a good basking spot in UVB, they don't need temperatures as extreme as many other lizards. There is another big lizard that doesn't need meat, namely the green iguana, but the personality of the Tegu puts them on this list, and not the angry tree ninja that is the green iguana. But if you want a big iguana, check out rhinoceros iguanas and other iguanas from the genus Cyclura. That said, in my opinion, the Argentine Tegu is the best pet big lizard, and since it doesn't need to be fed insects or other whole feeder animals, it makes this list instead. But it isn't perfect. It is a big, powerful lizard. It needs a large and expensive enclosure. It could really hurt you. And they're illegal in some parts of the world, especially where they are or could potentially become invasive. In conclusion, there are lots of awesome pet reptiles. If you can't stand to feed insects or other whole feeders to an animal, then these are 5 of the best pet reptiles that you can get. We have full videos about all of these, and there will be links to those in the description. There are also many others, so maybe just check out this whole channel. As always, like and subscribe, and we hope to see you real soon. Yeah, you're a good boy. Oh, yeah. That's a good lizard. That's a good lizard. Yes, yes, you are the best. Everybody loves you for a reason. A lot of that has been thanks to the support of our patrons at Patreon.
Helicopter.
Oh my goodness.
Ta-da!
Okay, no Patreon.
No B-roll.
Just leave it in just like that. Just put it in there, please.
Oh my god.
People will love that. Do it! Do it! Patreon is done.
Oh my god.
People will die. if we just leave that in the, you have to leave that. That is the Patreon pitch.
Holy cow.
Oh my goodness. That's it.
Yeah.
Crap literally just hit the fan.
Maybe it's a compliment.
Gross. Eat with your hand afterwards.
Sometimes. It's never happened to me. I don't have a sexy hand. But I've seen plenty of videos and things of people getting their hands mated with.
Yikes.
Next on our list,
Oh, wait. The camera's still shaking.
simmer down, camera.
Thank you.